We're going to be removing this air assembly in order to diagnose the P0299 problem, I believe, turbo underboost condition. So I believe it might be just a loose hose, and that is not written in stone. This is like if we're lucky. If we're not lucky, it could be the actual turbo, it could be many other factors like EGR. We did have an EGR code before I deleted it, so I'm gonna try to go ahead and do some of this work. Let's see what we have here. Okay, this is yeah, looks like it is the case. Okay, I'm just gonna put these over here on your computer. Hit my hand there. So we could clearly see the turbo right over here. So it seems like they have a good clamp on it. It's not standard equipment. Who knows if maybe it's loose a little bit, but here's your your turbo actuator. And it's really hard to see here, but here's where the turbo actuator leg is controlling everything. And this piece is the one that it's got a rotating motion, and it rotates basically. This is what I would call like a shoulder, but it's kind of like a round circle, but it doesn't do like a full turn. And then it basically attaches to the turbo. So what they've done in this case, it's a much shorter leg for this turbo. So this turbo is designed a little bit differently. So you could clearly see that the only place this leg is going to be possibly getting stuck, it's actually in this area. So it appears to me that it is not stuck. So now what we need to do is, when we turn the engine over, we want to see if this actually engages, and it should actually lift up or raise down, the actual turbo leg. So is the key in ignition? Yes. So let's take a look and see what it does, Michael. You could keep observing it. Does it move at all?
I can't tell.
Okay, I don't want to start it with anything possibly hitting the engine. So like the fan, I mean. So I think we're good. I'm gonna start for a little bit, see if you could tell any movement. Did it move? Okay, observe it now. It should do it differently. So did it move down or up?
Came up.
So it came up when I started it. So now it actually went back down.
Right.
Okay. Now, just because this turbo hose is still attached in that area right here, it does not mean that it's actually all good and dandy, There might be somewhere a leak. Now with this being the way it is, it's basically just this pipe here that's actually connecting to it. This pipe is plasticky, but I believe the type of plastic that it's actually made from, it shouldn't like rip or tear. It might just like bust out, like kind of like plastics do, just break apart. What we could do, Michael, is we could go ahead and actually remove this clamp and remove the hose here, and go ahead and actually remove it right there at the turbo, and observe it for any kind of crack, since we have it this far. And of course the turbo, so I could see that the turbo air, it basically goes into this plastic resonator. So you have this plastic resonator right here. If this was a 2006 model, this would be probably the culprit. most likely this is where it's leaking. But if it was the culprit, you would see all kinds of grime and grease all over in this area because it's spitting that stuff out. So the question is, do we have any of that maybe in a place that we cannot really see? Here's one of the clamps for it that hold it down. You could just release it, you know, with that little bolt, and I think just when you remove these two, it should just slide out. You know, this is where it's holding things down. But I believe in this situation it's not leaking. This particular thing, which is a resonator, makes the turbo a little bit quieter. And the way I could see that they've designed this van a little bit, they designed it a lot nicer than 2006 when it goes to piping. It goes straight from this resonator, like it's all like metal pipes and everywhere, so it really secures it. But once it makes its way down, it goes back into being plastic, and it curves, and it goes right there to the intake manifold.
Okay.
Oh, intake manifold, intercooler, excuse me. It goes into the intercooler here, and technically there should be another hose that's coming out over here. And I don't know if this is the intercooler. Could be this is the intercooler hose, because this should be in, yeah, it's way at the bottom over there behind it. It's hiding behind a radiator. So the reason I'm pointing these out is that you have to really observe each of these hoses. That's the weak points. Hose on this side, hose on that side. This resonator, which I think is fine. It would really be apparent if it basically failed, but these things fail at the seam. And what I could see they done this time, it was different. Instead of having a seam that is glued, I could see that it's been put together with bolts. So this is why it probably creates a much better seal, and you could pretty much take it apart and maybe replace that seal, or you know, reseal it.
Okay.
So the one that attaches to the turbo, I think we should remove it and observe to see exactly how it's attached, because things could be leaking back there, could be twisted and stuff like that. So let's just take let me see here, I don't know if this one is the same size. If we could reach it. Yeah, it's the same size. No, it's not. Since we're doing that, might as well go ahead and actually, can you hold this? We're gonna go ahead and remove these pieces, and let me see this. Go ahead and get this thing out of the way. So that's a different one. Nope. I'm guessing, but now that I know this is an 8, I could find one that is going to fit properly. Still not it. Okay, this time I'm just gonna use my actual mechanical tools. See, that's a 7, so that's a proper fit. You know, I could just take a flathead screwdriver, but that's not the way I do things. I much rather have this. I usually prepare with all the tools before I do this kind of stuff. I guess I'll take one just in case. There's a lot more storage with these T1 hands. You could put stuff everywhere. Have you checked the filter to see what kind of condition it is?
Nope.
Definitely recommend taking a look at it. It's got a bunch of these tiny little screws. So let's just take it down for now, because if it hasn't been changed, it's going to have breathing issues. You see how lightly this thing's on there, and this is barely taken apart.
So it might be loose somewhere.
Maybe a little bit loose, you know. I loosened it some, but it's just it started tipping over me as soon as it kind of got like untied. I'm curious to see what's going on back here. So we do have a sensor that's back here. This is one of those sensors that's really hard to disconnect, and I really hate to disconnect these because they oh man, there is some leakage of oil. Could be just coming right here from that oil catch can. So let's see if this has any cracks. This shouldn't have. Oh, look at this. We found your problem, Michael. There it is. That's your problem.
What's that? It's worn out?
No, it's not worn out. It's busted hose. It's a good thing we're taking it out. You're gonna need a new hose, Michael. And you're lucky you're at my yard, because I have a.
So this inside part?
Yeah. No, you see here. Look at this. See how it's busted?
Oh yeah.
And this is not one of those, like I said, this is plastic. If it does,
oh, right there it's broken. Yes.
Yes, if it does break, that's what happens. So it just basically breaks. With the rubber, it usually tears. And you see here that this is the rubber seal that I was talking about.
Right.
They did something to update it. I've seen things to be orange looking. And they get all twisted up. So they updated it. Look, not only that it's loose, but it's ripped right here. So
yeah, I see.
So you're gonna need a new hose.
Okay.
And if we're lucky, this is the only problem.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because actually we found it, which is good. Kind of funny. It's almost like that's exactly where I said it's gonna fail, and then it's like we do have this. And you know, looking at it, you know, from the side, it's like you look at it, it looks like it's attached properly, and you can't really tell nothing because the way it's sitting, as you could see
on the bottom.
Yeah, this is actually right there. How are you gonna tell? Like, you have to take it off.
Right.
So you're in luck, Michael. We're gonna have to pull one from mine, and you could have it.
Oh, thank you, man.
You're welcome. I'm gonna have to repair yours because I'll be fixing my Sprinter actually, and I'm gonna need the air system. I don't know if I could really do much repairing on this, but I'll have to think of something.
Okay.
So now we're gonna go to mine and go ahead and pull that off. I will be so happy if we actually
That
solve
would
it.
be awesome, man.
Yeah,
So simple,
so simple.
but you got to know
Yeah,
what to look for.
exactly. See, that's the thing. If you don't know that's could be that simple issue, you're just gonna be like looking all over the place and throwing parts at it.
I asked you about this wire. This was hanging down. One was the horn. The horn was missing, so I put that on
That
side.
seems this wire seems it's a little bit more serious, but I really don't know where this goes. It reminds me of a fog lamp type of light,
Okay.
which might not be that serious. Also could be a temperature wire maybe, which should be hiding behind a license plate. It would kind of explain it when they reattach this.
Yeah.
Maybe they did not attach the sensor back,
Okay.
but maybe
what
it's
about
not a
just the
temperature.
license plate light? Because the license plate lamp warning light comes on. Lamp is out.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it out really?
I don't know. I thought it was only for the back, but maybe there was one for the front that they didn't reattach.
No, they should have a temperature reading sensor, and usually they attach it right here in the bumper. But since it was an accident, maybe they moved it out of the way, tucked it over here.
No, I did that. It was just hanging down.
yeah.
And the other one was hanging down for the horn because they didn't
Really?
put the horn back in.
See, that's the thing. They miss all these things. It's like they're working on it and they're thinking about, you know, this whole bumper.
Yeah.
And if you look about it, look, you don't have any wires that's going back there. So the question is, that other bumper, once they removed it, they removed the sensor from it.
No idea.
So they probably left the sensor. That sensor could be pricey.
Okay.
It's not a really complicated sensor, but everything with these things, if you get original.
Maybe we could look at one of
price.
yours and see where this goes. Is it
I was-
totally
I-
different?
No, I was actually about to tell you the same thing.
Okay.
This is a 6-cylinder, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I should know that, but and I'm looking at it, I see it's a 6, but I have to make sure, you know, because you own this thing, and I'm not familiar with the 4 cylinders. I haven't really messed with those yet. Oh, anyways, we could go back there and take it off. So let's see, I'm just gonna take myself some 10. What is this? Michael, I really want to help you with this van. I really hope we find this exact problem. Huh?
I appreciate your time to take a look.
Oh, Michael, it's no big deal. Anytime you have an issue, just let me know, I'll help you. See, this engine on this particular one, it's locked up, and I'm either going to repair it or I'm going to swap it. And initially this was going to be a project particular for this van to actually swap it, but maybe I'll just fix the engine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know until I look. 2012, and it's actually so nice. It's so clean. It's a really nice van. Can you pop the hood? It might be popped already, but I'm really not sure. Yeah, because I did close it. Let's see. Do you know how to take these off, Mike? There's a thing you have to press at the bottom.
Okay.
You press it and you pull it up.
Oh, okay.
It releases it. Just so you know, because if you haven't done it before, you might not know. Do you have this weather stripping on yours?
I don't think so.
I think they forgot to replace
Mine's
it.
all shredded. This is all.
Yeah. This is going to be my van that I'll be driving and making it look inside like a, you know, like I was telling you, that whole setup. Let's see. Okay.
this one?
Engine's locked up on this one. 550,000 miles. Engine's locked up. The one I'm driving up top, it's got roughly 550. Drives like a charm. These T1Ns, these older school ones, they're a lot less trouble. And on my channel, I have so many videos on them that if you run into something, once you take a look at what's going on, you'll be able to fix these things so easy.
Do you have a larger Torx?
Yeah, I have everything. You see my doors open? Yeah. Take a look. I have kind of like all the tools right there. And there's little boxes. There's torque bits and everything in there. And check my other bags.
I'll make sure everything gets back.
Sure. Now, I hope this one's not busted. I just hope not, you know? Oh, you're looking for that wire?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Kevin, can you please step off from there? I don't want you to get hurt. Michael, if this fixes it, I'll be more happy than you are.
I don't know about that. Just want to drive up a hill without slowing everybody down behind me for...
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, mine's good. Good. Whew. Making me lose my breath on it.
You want to bring all this?
Yes, I'm gonna bring that, and I'll go ahead and actually bring this. I'll just take your clamps. That's supposed to be a new turbo, by the way. When I bought this guy spent so much money fixing it, bought all kinds of new stuff on there.
Why did the engine lock up?
Well, I don't know, maybe these engines are less reliable, but 550,000 miles.
Yeah, it's a pretty good run.
It is a pretty good run, you know. He says he replaced it with everything Mercedes only. Which it's a good thing, because a lot of times I've noticed some Chinese stuff is good and some is not. Yeah. The most important thing I noticed is fitment. A lot of stuff it just doesn't fit. So what I'm gonna start doing is I'll buy some of this Chinese stuff and I'll see how properly it fits, because there's one Chinese part I bought and it just doesn't fit, and it's a mass airflow sensor. Okay, let me see if make sure we are rolling here. We are. I really don't want to have to mess with this GoPro. Sometimes when I hit on and off, I had to corrupt the file for me before.
Yeah, that sucks.
And
you lose your video.
I'll lose my video, because this video will show somebody how to really repair it. I just had somebody last week. Excuse me, I've really lost my breath. I really need to work out more. He has the same issue, low turbo pressure. He took it to a mechanic with this problem. He paid like $200 some because the mechanic replaced the belt and the pulley and stuff. I'm like, why did he replace that? You came in with that problem. He says, I needed it, like it was making noise. Okay. But he's still left with the problem. He could figure it out. And you know the funny part is, he took it to mechanics. He got a really nice snap-on computer, like what mechanics use. You know, not everybody has a star diagnostic tool. And I get mechanics information, so I could you know, help him out if anything, you know, and maybe help answer some questions. Okay. Let's see. It seems like it's on, but I'm not 100% positive, but now I think things are good. But anyways, mechanic scans it, and he basically texts me all the codes. He says, what do I do now? I'm like, buddy,
you're the professional.
you have a Snap-on computer, you have the software for it, you know. I'm like, you should do some research what you do next with these codes. I mean, that's not what I'm there for. I'm not about to look up all his codes. It's Snap-on related codes.
Right.
He should have a book for it that defines these codes. And I'm like, call me when you have, like, you know, you have a question about something, you know, like possibly like drivability or fitability of something, or like, you know, these type of diagnosing, you know, related problems, like, but, you know, codes. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's like, you're a mechanic. I mean, that's why people get the van to your shop.
Well, that's a compliment to you, though. Turns to you for help.
It won't be the only mechanic. There's the one mechanic in California. They always call me.
Really?
And the thing about it is, the guy that owns it, he's a famous Russian preacher. So he found me, and I guess he expects that I'm always gonna help him free, you know, because he's like famous preacher, you know, pastor rather. But he's making money on this stuff, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So he calls me up and he always asks me about, oh, what do we do here? What do we, like, not him, but his mechanic, and he does as well. And I always help him out. But you'll be surprised how much shops they don't know. You get the vehicle in there and they're just guessing. So basically,
so there was that other tube and the sensor too on that side.
I attached it at the
I'm just wondering.
very beginning. That's an oil catch tube.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
It's like that particular one. There's oil, and it's not an oil catch. Excuse me. Sometimes I say wrong things because English is not my first language, especially when I'm tired. I throw out weird stuff, and I watch my videos sometimes. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I said that. That's not an oil catch can. That lubricates the turbo a little bit. It's supposed to have a little oil. It's really not a lubricant. It's kind of like it's breathing, but some oil does travel through it.
Got it.
It's like because turbo's getting lubricated with that, and then this oil thing, it makes it from the actual where the oil is over there, and technically it does have a catch can over there for the oil. And once it's breathing through the engine, some oil does make it on that filter, and after a while that filter is going to be like so much with oil, and then so much oil is going to start making it through, and it's going to the turbo.
Catches it. Okay.
And then you could have a situation with a runaway diesel, because a little amount to the turbo is good for lubrication. A lot can cause an issue, you know, because now it's breathing oil, you know, and to a diesel engine, oil is basically diesel, you know, it's fuel. Okay, I wanted to make sure there's nothing wrong with that stuff. So this is also important for this stuff to be snapped in.
Okay.
But this is pretty much just air here that it's picking up. But you don't want to make sure, you want to make sure it's not loose. So, you know, I would think coffee would make me a little bit more peppy or whatever. But it's making me a little bit more tired. Like, not tired, but disorganized, if you could say that. Like, it's kind of weird. Obviously, this is just one problem. Hopefully, we'll fix with the turbo. There's other small little issues, and I would be interesting to find out if EGR code comes back, or this master flow sensor comes back. Because if it comes back, I have the part. We could throw the part at it for free and find out if it's actually.
That's it.
Yeah, because dealer, if you call them up, I don't know what they charge for it, but I've seen as much as $500 for a single part. But everybody's so different depending on the state and how much they could rip off their customers. So we have this on. Are we missing anything besides these bolts?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I know we wanted to look at the filter, but at this point, I think things are breathing okay, at least, you know. We should take a look at it, definitely. But at this point, let's just see if this problem goes away. See how well it drives now.
Right.
You know. Okay. So let me move this out of the way.
We got these two screws in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the proper tool for that. I don't know if this will be the same fitment. Let me see for the bolt. Can you just give me one to see if it's the same? Because I was using a different tool. No, it's not the same fitment. Let me find a proper one. Okay. And apparently they have this going through your shroud.
Yeah, I have a new shroud there. Like I said, they didn't put it on.
Yeah, they should have put it on.
They were afraid,
really skipping.
They were afraid because of the accident it might not land.
No.
They were just really
That's,
cutting corners.
Yeah, I mean, look. This is brand new radiator support.
Yeah.
It attaches here. That's it. Like everything that's going on here was replaced.
I know.
I don't know what the heck they're talking about. It is so weird sometimes how this is just cutting corners.
Right. Saving time.
Yeah. It's like
they gave it to me. I have it. It's brand new. It's in the back.
It would have been made a lot more sense if they just attached it, because now you have to deal with this little situation. And where's your rubber piece?
Yeah, left it off.
Yeah, left it off.
Unless, well, this is just age, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see what it
well,
does.
I want to always make sure I didn't skip any, I didn't cut any corners. Looks like I have reattached everything that needs to be reattached. So. We have everything that's done here. Okay. Good. We could take it for a test drive now.
My name is Serge Zimaleta. I'm 37 years old, and yes, I experienced success after buying my first home for cash. Back in 2011, I was broke, but I learned to solve problems on my own. Now, I'm helping others to solve their problems. I know what pitfalls to avoid to stay profitable in business. Need motivation to be more successful in your life? Do you have sprint or expedite or business problems? Then subscribe. Let's find creative solutions to your problems. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my helpful videos.